State play host to the #1 team in the nation, the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV. Good evening, everybody. I'm Joel Myers alongside Mario Palladini, and welcome to the event center on the campus of San Jose State University. If ever, when you look at the Big West Conference schedule, Mario, if ever there appeared to be a big mismatch, it's tonight's game between San Jose State and UNLV, the #1 team in the nation, #1, of course, in the Big West, against the last place team in the conference.
Well, it would appear that way, but you got to worry about a letdown. UNLV has played 5 of their last 6 games on the road, and they're playing their 3rd game in just 5 days. It's tough to get up for the last place team. That could work to San Jose's advantage here tonight.
The nation's longest winning streak for UNLV is at 27 and counting now. What is even more amazing in that successful run, though, is what they've done on the road dating back to last season. They have won their last 20 straight away from the Thomas & Mack Center, and what's impressive is what they've done offensively.
And the key thing here is this is an example of Coach Tarkanian's coaching abilities, keeping his team focused where they can actually play better on the road because they're aware of what can happen with a letdown with those kind of numbers.
The key to the transition game for UNLV, and they're one of the very best at getting it into the open floor up-tempo game, is their rebounding. And they have a couple of great ones kicking it out. A couple that can bring it up themselves if they need to, Stacey Augmon and Larry Johnson.
Well, Augmon's terrific because he likes that driving, slashing style, and he goes to the offensive boards as hard as anybody you'll see in the country. Johnson, who always dominates inside defensively, does the same on the offensive boards, and that's a key for any team that plays Las Vegas. They have to limit Las Vegas' ability on the offensive board.
There's plenty of things for San Jose State and their head coach Stan Morrison to worry about this evening. What would you put at the top of the list, though?
Well, I think he's got to worry about leaving enough tickets for all of his friends to get in here tonight. This is the hottest ticket in town, the biggest crowd in San Jose State history. They even sold standing room only spots around the arena here for $15 a pop. So he's got a lot of people on him tonight.
The guard play should be the determining factor very early in the matchup tonight for San Jose State, whether or not they can keep up with the backcourt of UNLV. The backcourt of San Jose State, one of the big reasons they have taken 3 of their last 5. Terry Cannon, 22 in the last game against Long Beach State.
Well, they got some good athletes in the backcourt, and Cannon has really done a great job as the point guard, hitting people at the right spot on the floor, but he's improved his offensive game, had 4 big free throws against Long Beach, and Terrell is a tough, hard-nosed guy, goes inside strong, hit the last 5 shots to beat Long Beach in that upset down there last week.
And what has to really help San Jose State tonight is the return of the gentleman we're looking at right now out of Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, Troy Batiste, who's missed better than a month.
You talk about a tough young man. This guy has played his career through injuries, adversity. He is the inspirational floor leader. He's back here tonight and just in time for the biggest game this season for San Jose.
We'll find out in just a couple of minutes whether or not the Spartans of San Jose State on their home floor can make a game out of it tonight against the #1 team in the nation. We'll find out and be right back on Sports Channel with the starting lineup.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass, and take anyone you want on your next trip free, like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
Civilization ever created. It had a splendor and grandeur to which no other place in the world could compare. It was the greatest empire mankind has ever seen. And it still is. Caesar's Palace. Relive the legend.
The challenge, as I saw it, was to make it more like Bogey's place in the movie Casablanca. Not how it was in the 40s, but how it would be today, 50 years later. How would it feel? What kind of food would he serve? What kind of entertainment? How would he get that hip international flair going? I thought a lot about it, and I believe I created a joint that has the same mystique as Rick's Cafe.
Randy Kiefer's Play It Again, Sam. The next generation.
Somehow, I think Bogey would have loved it.
Welcome back to the Event Center in the campus of San Jose State University. A beautiful night in Northern California, crystal clear, crisp on the outside, and very warm on the inside, as this is the largest crowd they've ever had in this building. Holds just a little bit less than 5,000. As Mario mentioned, standing room only tonight. For the starting lineups, let's go over to the PA announcer, Russ Call.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Event Center at San Jose State University for tonight's Big West Conference men's basketball game, featuring the Runnin' Rebels of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and your Spartans of San Jose State University. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the defending national champion UNLV Rebels. At a guard spot, a 6'1" junior from Detroit, number 12, Anderson Hunt. At the other guard, a 6'2" senior from Las Vegas, number 50, Greg Anthony. Starting at a forward spot, a 6'7" senior from Dallas, number 4, Larry Johnson. At forward, a 6'8" senior from Pasadena, California, number 32, Stacy Augmund. And at center, a 6'9" senior from Pittsburgh, PA, number 44, George Ackles. The head coach of the Runnin' Rebels is Jerry Tarkanian. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your San Jose State Spartans. Starting at a guard spot, 6'3" sophomore from San Leandro, California, number 4, Charles Terrell. At guard, 6-foot sophomore from Los Angeles, number 10, Terry Cannon. At guard, a 6'2" senior from San Diego, number 12, Mike Wasserberger. At forward, 6'4" junior from Lafayette, Louisiana, number 24, Michael St. Julian. And at forward, 6'7" sophomore from Thousand Oaks, California, number 31, Kevin Logan. Introducing the head coach of your Spartans, Mr. Stan Morrison.
So the biggest test since the last time they faced UNLV and lost 95-63 earlier this season at the Thomas and Mack Center. And when you look at the overall series between the two teams, Stan Morrison's San Jose State squad, as Stan is granted in only his second season on the bench for the Spartans, but the Spartans have never ever been able to beat the Rebels of UNLV. In fact, the very first meeting when UNLV came to the conference 11 years ago was the closest. UNLV beat San Jose State by 3. Ever since, it hasn't come even close to that number.
Well, that's the kind of domination UNLV's had in the Big West Conference from the very start. And that's what people say, really, they contribute to the conference because they bring the national acclaim and attention to this conference. But clearly, when we're talking about the best team in the country right now, the national champions. But the thing I think about it's exciting for San Jose is how many players who play basketball get a chance to be able to play the #1 team in the country and to play them twice in one season. And one of those times is at your gym, in front of your friends and family. That's a great opportunity for young players, and San Jose State has a golden opportunity here tonight. Unfortunately, they're playing with limited crew because of some injuries, some very serious injuries, some very key people.
And they are a small, as you see, there's basically 3 guards coming out. Logan is the largest one on the floor. He is not that big as well. He's only at 6'6", 6'7". St. Julian will be jumping. He is 6'4". The referees, Terry Tackett, Ben Pope, and Moose Stubing, 3 very experienced officials from the Big West Conference. So we're ready to go, and it's good to have you with us. For Big West Conference Basketball on Sports Channel, Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. Who do you like in the jump? Ackles, maybe?
Slightly.
It's almost like a Super Bowl game. We have a lot of different ideas about who will score first. And we won't talk field goals here, but plenty of angles to go about it.
Right. And you'll see, right off the bat, San Jose is going a little bit of a man-to-man inside here.
Larry Johnson does not get the roll. Took it away from Logan on the tip, and he's out of bounds. Well, we had documented at the top of the telecast the offensive rebounding and the board work of Johnson. He should have a field day along with Ackles down to the glass today.
He should, but that man, 31, Logan, playing against Johnson, has got his hands full tonight as they battle on the boards. Logan last year had a 16-point, 15-rebound game against Larry Johnson. That's his college best. So he gets up in the big games, and particularly for Larry Johnson.
Wasserberger looking for the baseline. He's probably one of their best at the three-point shot. Logan with the first 2 points of the contest. And that may be the only lead of the night for San Jose State. We will find out. But they are huge underdogs.
This is where they really have to work hard is defensively. They've got to really play hard, aggressive, best they can, and help and sag inside and doubling up on Johnson. Look at UNLV, patient on the offense, trying to work it inside first.
Anthony dumping it for Ackles. Huge advantage. He lost it against St. Julian, but there's Johnson on the weak side. They will dominate on the boards. All that San Jose State can hope for is a very, very poor night shooting percentage-wise for UNLV. So they do have the opportunity, after maybe even 2 or 3 misses by the Rebels, to get it back. Wasserberger in among the trees for Terrell. They're hot early, and a three-pointer. And a three-point lead for the Spartans.
They got to hustle back defensively, though.
Hunt lost it in midair. Barely got it up to the glass as they got back in the transition game. Good job by the Spartans.
That's a key. They wanted to try to limit UNLV's transition game. I mean, you can only do so many things against a team that is so talented. But the key thing right off the bat, limit the transition game. Try to force UNLV into a half-court game.
Cannon maybe getting away with a walk at the free throw line. And Terrell doesn't get away with it in front of Moose Doobie. I'd like to welcome those of you joining us right now on Sports Channel Cincinnati. This is Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. Great atmosphere at the Event Center, the campus of San Jose State. Their Spartans are up by 3, but it is very, very early. Only 2 minutes into the game. Hawkins yet to try one at the offensive end. Johnson's had his problems down low. Now from 15, he is perfect.
That's another great look that UNLV will give you. They bring Johnson up to the top and let him look for the 3 or penetrate inside, but their look first is always to the inside people.
And with the size advantage they have tonight, if ever they wanted to play a high-low game, they've got it tonight.
That's it.
Baldwin off the miss after Terrell couldn't find it, and they throw it away, which is not indicative of UNLV. They do not make that many unforced errors like that.
And you can see Stacey Aubin upset with himself, pointing his finger. That's my fault. He knew he made a bad pass that time. Watch him get back this time, though, and really get even tougher defensively.
UNLV on the road averaging 108 points per contest. Good drive for Cannon. Nice roll, but he couldn't get it to drop off the rim. But a good fingertip roll by Terry Cannon on the penetration move.
Yeah, the key is penetration. He was able to get it. That's hard to do against the UNLV player.
Cannon with the definite foul on the baseline. His first. Greg Anthony will go to the line to shoot 2. Terry Cannon, another man from Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. They've had such a phenomenal program for so many years. 6 foot, 170-pounder.
Well, there are so many teams we cover here in the Big West Conference that have players out of Crenshaw High. Coach Willie West in Los Angeles always has done a great job. LA City champions year in and year out.
Greg Anthony averaging 11 a game, making 75% of his free throws. Ties it at 5. 17:09 left of the first 20 minutes of play. He tries to give UNLV now their first lead of the contest, and does so. It's a small group, but a quick group at the same time.
San Jose runs a motion offense. 3 men out, 2 post plays, and there's the defense at overplay.
Exactly, the double team pays off as Johnson took it away from Wasserberger, bringing up Anderson Hunt. He's not been on target for 3-point territory over the last 5-6 games, but he drills that one.
That's a good way to start for Hunt. He's a streak shooter. If he gets it going early, he's tough, but credit Greg Anthony that time. What a great job he does as a point guard, spreading the offense and throwing the skip pass up over the top.
superior. Now, they have to be controlled in their offensive set. So often we see teams make little man mistakes and unforced mistakes against UNLV, almost like they're psyched out before the game even gets underway.
You cannot be intimidated, and they shouldn't be. Stan Morrison doesn't coach that way. He coaches a hard, tough, confident type of play, and they just got to be patient, which is what they're doing here right now.
Glasserberger for three. Flat and off the glass. Didn't draw any iron. Larry Johnson with another rebound. He's got to have 4 or 5 already. The trailer, Johnson. The jump into the middle for Ogcom. They wanted to walk, they won't get it. A 6-point lead for the Running Rebels.
You got Larry Johnson looking like a point guard up there with that head fake as the trailer on the break, driving inside and dishing it off. Great play.
Closest anyone's been to UNLV was the Louisville game on the road at Freedom Hall a couple of weeks ago. Only a 12-point win. Cannon swatted away by Hackles. Logan tried to save it, but he's on the sideline, and the Rebels have it back when we return to San Jose State University. So after a slow start, UNLV starts to turn it on. They lead by 6 with 15:34 left in the first half.
Who said you can't buy a condo in Green Valley for less than $73,000? Now you can live in the valley for less green at Verde Viejo. Follow Sunset to Arroyo Grande and follow the signs to Verde Viejo. We're hard to find, but then most good deals are, aren't they? Who said you can't buy a condo in Green Valley for less than $73,000? Now you can live in the valley for less green at Verde Viejo. Follow Sunset to Arroyo Grande and follow the signs to Verde Viejo. We're hard to find, but then most good deals are, aren't they?
Taco Bell is 3 times better. 3 new menus are 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices and everything I like is just $59.79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme. $59.79.99. Run for the bullet of the winter fencer. $59.79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59.79.99.
9-0 run right now, just before we broke away for the Running Rebels of UNLV. 15:34 left in the first 20 minutes of play. Welcome back once again to San Jose State. Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. Doesn't make any difference whether the guards have the ball or the big man out top. Larry Johnson just made a beautiful play, jumping it in to Stacey Augman.
You think he's just a postman? Head fake, penetrates inside, draws the defense, and dishes it off to Augman. I mean, he looked like a point guard that time going inside. That's the versatility of Larry Johnson. And there's Troy Batiste, first time in the game since late December with the knee surgery, the arthroscopic. They need some solid emotional play out of him.
On the bright side of things, though, for San Jose State, the possession arrow is in their direction. Anthony for 3. Terrell kept it alive. And he's got it. Troy Batiste into the game for the first time in over a month. Another young man from Los Angeles, a senior. So quick lineup, but as we mentioned, a very small lineup in there. And they even lose a couple of inches, bringing Batiste in. Good penetration for Cannon. Right on target for 3. Beautiful assist, though, by Batiste.
Comes in and takes over right away, creating a big play, but Augman responds on the other end. There's the transition game we talked about. You must get back in a hurry against UNLV.
Surprisingly, still only a 5-point game. 5.5 minutes into the contest. They do gain a bit of versatility, though, with Batiste, as he is turning the ball over, pounding the ball to the baseline.
Well, Batiste may be a little over-anxious right now. Big game, first time back, but he's not afraid, as we saw with a tough customer driving baseline against the big UNLV frontline people.
UNLV winning by an average margin of 31.6 points per game, and that's one of the reasons why Anderson Hunt, over the last 4 or 5 games, he's been only hitting 34% of his three-pointers. As far as the season is concerned, he's at 40% from three-point land. So he is starting off very, very well tonight, which is bad news, of course, for Stan Morrison and the Spartans of San Jose State. 8-point lead, the biggest so far for the Running Rebels of UNLV.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
to working out, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Talking about Coors Light, it's the right beer now. Pour it on and work it out.
Saturday night, we will be in Fresno. Mario, I know you cannot wait. Fresno State having a very good night so far against UC Irvine. We'll update you on that score in just a couple of minutes, but we will be at Selland Arena. Fresno State hosting the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara. That could be a buzzer beater type of game.
That's going to be a great ball game. Santa Barbara's up tonight playing a tough game against Pacific. They feel they have to win tonight and then beat Fresno to be able to challenge for third place, so that's going to be a big ball game.
Terrell, 3 for 3. They are on fire from three-point land.
And what a
of
great...
course, they can't get it inside, though.
Yeah, but you know, Joel, great timeout by Stan Morrison last time. Didn't like what he saw. Called a quick timeout to settle things out. And as expected, after a timeout, they come out, hit a big shot to get it going again.
Now, they are in trouble. That is the second foul on Terry Cannon. They cannot afford to lose Terry Cannon to 3 fouls early in the first half.
The key thing, not only is your point guard, he's improved so well there, but he's a main outside perimeter threat for them.
The leading scorer, Terry Cannon with 2. Larry Johnson with the bucket. Made it look easy.
Larry Johnson just does things so fundamentally sound and smart out there. Draws the defense and then uses the head fake and the body motions to get people in the air and gently uses the glass.
Logan in his first try. Off on the second. Whoa. St. Julian way up there and draws the foul on Johnson. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. First on Johnson. And the first on the running Rebels.
That was goal number 4.
I mean, you talk about explosive leapers. Michael St. Julian was a national junior college high jump champion, and this is the reason why. Explosive up there at only 6'4", goes hard and strong. Drawing that foul. Only 6'4", he's their leading rebounder. He goes strong and hard. He's fearless as well. Only a freshman. Scratch that. A junior. Key thing with St. Julian is didn't play a lot early in the season, was forced into having to play because of the injuries to key people. They lost Nowitzki for the year. Gerald Scott, their center, promising freshman. That's the freshman they were really looking forward to. He has knee problems. He actually had a blood clot in his leg, required surgery. He's out for the year.
Jason Allen, who we saw go down in the game at Cal State Fullerton.
With a badly dislocated ring finger. He's been out for quite a while. There's questions to when he'll come back. So it really has been a difficult hospital-type setting here, but St. Julian's one of the guys who's benefited from that.
Late violation as Anthony penetrates. And now it's an 8-point lead, but on that last sequence, you may have wondered what happened. They did not get the free throw, San Jose State, because of a lane violation. So that's why it's an 8-point difference right now. Philip Crump in for the first time over the last 4 games. He's not seen a minute of action over the last 3.
Oh, they got good defense that time. Logan on the defensive side played Johnson tough. And you think he's worried? Say it. Jerry Tarkanian's always worried. There isn't a game he goes into that he isn't concerned. Some say he over-worries. Look at this. Chad Higginbotham's in the game. Had a great night against New Mexico State a couple weeks back. 12 points and 6 rebounds.
Throw it away, trying to force it. Higginbotham over to Terrell.
It's another guy who's a walk-on. I mean, there have been times this year there's 6 scholarship players, 6 walk-ons on the San Jose State team.
From UNLV's point of view, it'd be easy to force things inside tonight because it would almost appear to be automatic going inside with the ball. As Larry Johnson penetrated, Logan on the ground rolling around. 99% of the time you see a travel when somebody does a few somersaults like that.
He didn't go completely over.
I don't see anybody with cards on the sideline, though, for a 9-5 or a 9 on that sequence. Higginbotham by himself. Not for long, though. Larry Johnson with a rejection. They average 8 blocks a game, and Hunt almost turns it into a layup. Fouled on Anderson Hunt.
That's a good call.
Frustration.
That's a late call, but a good call. Hunt from behind, and it was a frustration foul. Silly foul that time by Anderson Hunt. Hunt penetrates, split the defense here. Kind of lost his balance as he went up, and from behind slaps at it and draws the foul.
So it stays an 8-point margin. UNLV on top. 12 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. A lot of players seeing the floor early for Stan Morrison at San Jose State this evening. He's already gone 8-9 deep. Terrell was looking for the return. It would have been a beautiful play had Logan been able to execute it. Terrell on the opposite side.
Just that's the execution he needs. Good look inside by Terrell to Logan. They were very patient that time, despite that great defense by UNLV.
Only 3 starters left on the floor. San Jose State. As Augman, I guess that's a high percentage shot, 4 or 5 feet away, and he's about 6 inches above his defender.
Slightly. They make it look so easy, though. It's like they're calling out a play, they run it, and they're able to execute off of it. Preparation and execution. That's what this UNLV bunch specializes in. Look at Larry Johnson way out making the steal.
St. Julian relaxed. Hunt fouled on his way by Batiste. How can you relax against Larry Johnson and UNLV? They force the opposition into an average of 21 turnovers a game. How could you ever let your guard down and deal with it so nonchalantly? Watch this.
Just lost the handle, didn't see Johnson there, not expecting Johnson to be way out at that point. And Anderson Hunt, he wanted to go and slam that thing, but Troy Batiste establishing himself. No way. He is not going to allow that kind of a situation.
How in the world, though, can you make a no-look pass 35 feet away from the basket, going back towards the timeline?
You know what? Stan Morrison is asking that exact same question on the sideline right now.
Batiste sits down. Crump's back in. So now, they lose even a little bit more when you talk about the size. Terrell, the largest of the 3 guards. Logan, the tallest player on the floor, though, at 6'7".
Look at this, a little different look, a zone this time. So their matchup zone UNLV shows.
Terrell trying to bounce it inside, does so to St. Julian.
That's a great pass by Terrell. Caught Larry Johnson looking the wrong way that time, and they beat him.
It's back to 8, the 10-point lead at 24-14, the biggest so far. Elmore Spencer just came in.
Oh, what a mismatch.
He's lucky.
What a mismatch in size inside, and Spencer's upset with himself.
You could have had the tune of the bunny hop, or you could have had maybe, well, a couple of other songs that he was dancing to at that time. Turnovers, UNLV has given the ball away 5 times already. And 5 is the same number for San Jose State.
San Jose State, having held on to the ball well against Long Beach, only turned it over 8 times.
St. Julian got away from Spencer. That was almost like a pass to himself, because that's all he wanted to do with it was get it back. They wanted to foul, they don't get it. A lob for Spencer, knocked away. Higginbotham got a piece of it. Here comes Crump. He's got St. Julian. Ball away against Johnson. Won't go in.
Ooh, that was a tough shot from the baseline.
Brotherton ready to come in for the first time. Spencer, high-low game with Hunt for 3.
Nice. Inside, outside. UNLV does that so well. What that does is that once you kick it back outside, defensively, you've got to contest Hunt. It frees open your middle people, your post players, on the return pass.
Anderson Hunt now with 3 3-pointers. Terrell.
Good ball rotation that time.
Well, he gets away from Augman. He thinks he's got it, and it's money spent. But then Elmore Spencer comes in. Hunt. Beautiful move, the double clutcher. Hit it on his way down, and they lead by 13. Anderson Hunt with 13 points already. 13 of the 29, and another timeout with good reason for Stan Morrison and San Jose State University. The last place team of the Big West, trailing with under 10 minutes left in the first half.
When we started Rock Springs Vista 4 years ago, life began at 54950. Summerlin, Desert Shores, and Angel Park were only an idea. Today, over 500 families live at Rock Springs Vista. We were first then, and we're first now, because we gave you what you wanted, a good housing value at a price you can live with. Compare the rest and come see Rock Springs Vista. Quality homes for people who know a good buy when they see it.
Where life begins at 64950.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. With 3 new menus are 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, now everything I like is just $59.79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme, $59.79.99. Run for the bullet of the winner Spencer, $59.79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59.79.99.
Welcome back once again. UNLV starting to run away from San Jose State. Same old song and dance, Mario. They lead by 13. It seems like everything they do at the defensive end, which they draw so many positives from, translates into 2 at the opposite end.
Well, he beats Ogman, the best defensive player in the country. Thinks he's got an open shot, and Spencer blocks it. Left hand or right hand Hunt. Their defense creates the offense. Hunt, that's a tough shot. You're in the air, having to straighten and square up. Banks it in. But again, it's the defense that creates this team's offense in that transition game. And look at the rebounds. Domination again. There's a zone defense, that matchup by UNLV. Hey, Higginbotham pops it from the outside and turns and runs back down court saying, I want it. I want to shoot that ball.
They're back within 10. The three-pointer from the junior from Houston. Anthony blocked but fouled by Higginbotham.
Okay, that's a good sequence to be able to look at again, because Higginbotham, young player, goes inside, it hits a big shot from the outside, and defensively comes back all emotional and forgets about what he's got to do against a tough, penetrating type guy in Anthony. Let him beat him to the baseline and then picks up a silly foul when Anthony goes up for the shot.
He knows he's going to get help. Now, granted, Anthony likes to go to the left because he's left-handed, but he's going to get help to the paint. What he did was the Cardinals did. Give him the baseline, as Mario just mentioned. Everett Gray in for the first time. Another super sub for Jerry Tarkanian in the running Rebs. Stacey Ogman sits down.
What a luxury to be able to sit Stacey Ogman down with 9 minutes to go in the half and bring a guy like Gray. And Gray is instant offense. I mean, he has done a tremendous job. They are very pleased, the coaches are, with the way he's playing. Under control, go up, penetrated inside. He's even a good three-point shooter, from better than 50% from three-point land.
Well, you're probably going to be depressed when I tell you this news, Mario, but Amerzian did not make the trip. Your favorite.
One of the members of my all 39-minute team, Brian Amerzian. The crowd favorite back at the Thomas and Mack Arena.
Higginbotham again. Just off the mark, Gray. Coming up with the rebound. Perfect box-out position for both Gray and Spencer. Little volleyball. Anyone? The lob for Johnson. Great jump pass. Lost on the floor. Gray gets it back.
Good example that time of Gray's ability. He has a good nose for the ball. Once it's on the floor, he goes after it and goes right straight up.
Brotherton in for the first time. Playing down inside now. San Jose State, one of their largest players.
And right now, Joel, with this matchup zone, UNLV's hoping that San Jose will force the shot from the outside, but that's good ball rotation that time.
St. Julian barely getting it over. Elmore Spencer.
That was barely all right.
They're waiting for Spencer to come back down the floor. Why not? He walks right around Brotherton like he's not even there. And what a block from St. Julian, the great leaper. But Trump loses it on the break. The opposite end, Johnson. Good night.
And they're looking for a walk on that one on the side.
I don't think so.
Hey, Larry Johnson didn't do what he's been doing lately on that play. He didn't headbutt the ball after the dunk.
That's true.
I was looking for that headbutt. You know, Stan Morrison told me he loves that headbutt. He said his players tried to do it, and 3 of them missed.
Get it over to Brotherton. Nice reversal of the ball to the weak side against the matchup zone.
Good look that time. And a good, quick recognition to go to Brotherton inside, who's struggling with some foot problems. This young man has nerve damage in his feet, and it has really affected the way he plays and the amount of minutes he can play. But Julian, watch him come over to help out. And can he get up? Whew. And after that's the travel they were looking for. It's really hard to tell.
Watch the landing. Oh, take that, partner.
See that wingspan? A little wide there.
Brotherton missing the first of 2 of freshmen from Battleground, Washington. Played 17 minutes in the win over Long Beach just a few nights ago. That was his second longest stint of the season. Stan Morrison was telling me before the game. Did a lot of good things in the contest. A lot of fundamentally sound things that he liked. 12-point game.
Oh, what
inside for Gray.
What a pass by Anthony. No-look spinning bounce pass.
That is the largest lead now for the Runnin' Rebels. 14 points. Did they ever destroy Utah State in their last one? That was a runaway and a blowout 10 minutes into the contest.
Another turnover.
Great defense again.
And it's ever since UNLV went to the matchup zone that they have really disrupted San Jose's patience on the offensive side.
Johnson got away from his man.
I hope they got some spare backboards around here.
What did their pregame meal consist of?
A lot of pasta, I think, the way they're playing.
I thought it was like Tim Rosevich glass. Maybe they were gnawing on it because they're chewing on it right now. Ooh. Brotherton.
Look at that defense collapse on Brotherton. He still gets it up. Great play by Brotherton.
From a scene from Hoosiers almost, Brotherton gets it in. Everett Gray at the opposite end. Oh, it took a long time, though. A good 5-6 seconds before they answered.
And that's the problem. It's a horse race. And you can't play with UNLV unless you got the horses.
Right now, it's the Clydesdales against the 6 furlong horses out there.
That's why they're pulling the reins back a little now, except for Higginbotham. He'll go in there and do anything he can to try to create some offense.
They wanted a double dribble. They don't get it. As Cannon lost it on the floor and then put it back down. Jerry Tarkanian politicking over on the far side. Why not?
Watch how UNLV extends that matchup. There's a block. Well, they called a foul on Gray that time.
They did.
They do a great job recognizing where the ball is going. They put tremendous pressure on the basketball, even in a zone. And if they can, they'll trap you out of that zone.
That foul on Everett Gray. That is his first. The 4th team foul on UNLV, putting Troy Batiste to the line. Augman, he's back. Stacey Augman back into the lineup.
Foul call on number 20. When he walks on the basketball floor, whether it's in warm-ups, start of the game or whatever, he's got that mean streak look on his face. It's all business.
I like the way Larry Johnson comes out during player introductions, though. It's casual.
Casual. It's like he's waiting for a bus. I mean, it takes him forever to walk out to that free throw line.
It's a 16-point lead.
No, but
Spartans don't do a lot of favors for themselves, so either at the free throw line or from the floor. They only hit 42%, a little less than 42 from the field. Batiste missing both. They're at 70% from the free throw line. And Gray can not only sky, but he can bring it up when they need help. Ackles saving it. Ackles, why not? Johnson's there. And Augman calls for the walk.
We mentioned Larry Johnson using his head on on dunks. Look at that one. He bounced it off his head in a volleyball type tap.
Well, certain sources have said he's considering a career in the Major Soccer League. It used to be the Major Indoor Soccer League. He can do whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned, though. I'd like to see him with a golf club in his hand and with a cobalt head driver with a stiff graphite shaft and see what he could do. How many yards? Long distance driving champion?
He could be the ball in that case.
5 minutes left, fortunately for the Spartans in the first half. Anthony almost with a steal. Nice dish by Higginbotham to St. Julian. Brotherton leaning in. That's all he'll do.
And you really can see Brotherton struggling with those feet of his. Tough young guy, though, despite the nerve damage in his feet, which might require some surgery in the offseason.
Anthony, he's got an interesting rotation in the ball with the way he sends it up there. It's almost a reverse.
Yeah.
Almost a reverse spin, the way he twists the ball off his fingertips. Not a natural look by any means.
But it's good ball rotation. Anytime you get ball rotation on a jump shot, you're not shooting a dead ball, which means that you got a chance to keep it soft up there. Get the offensive rebound. Good patience by San Jose. Nice head fake by Terrell.
Brotherton, he's got to start hitting the follows. He's got to start hitting the 2-footers.
Stan Morrison still cheering him on the sideline, though. That's the way he coaches.
And right now, Brotherton, one of the few that's coming up with rebounds for him.
An offensive rebound at that.
Nice knifing move down through the baseline for Greg Anthony, who's going to the line to shoot 2. The foul called. It's on Higginbotham.
The thing I love about Anthony is his recognition of the basketball floor in the right situations. So it makes him such a tough point guard. At that time, he knew he could take the man one-on-one, go baseline, uses the glass, has a great quick first step, the ability to cross over from left to right.
Second foul on Higginbotham, 5th team foul. As Robert Dunlap comes in for the first time, a sophomore from Richardson, Texas. So a little bit of size, but they lose Brotherton at the same time, bringing in the 6'11", 235-pound Dunlap. Anthony right on target.
You mentioned Dunlap coming in, and the key with Dunlap is he's been losing a lot of weight lately. They're a little worried if he's got an illness or something because he just doesn't play with the same emotion and vigor. He was starting early in the season.
Well, if he goes with us to pregame dinners, he'll have no problem took Mario over to a local haunt, Bay Area classic. Little pasta.
Little pasta?
Just a little.
Just a little?
I'll take the red, I'll take the white, and anything in between.
You had me order the extra large plate?
3:55 left of the first half. Be right back to San Jose.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass. And take anyone you want on your next trip, free! Like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
The Pilots are out tonight. Portland and Santa Clara. Not far, just about 10 minutes away. The Broncos at home tonight. And also for our West Coast viewers tonight, right here on Sports Channel, following the Big West game. UNLV dominating San Jose State in most areas of the game. They're up by 18, 3 minutes 55 seconds left in the first half. And San Jose State just about at their season average. They only hit about 41% on the year.
And that's where UNLV defensively keeps their opponents to 39% from the floor. So status quo for them. And again, they're still, UNLV that is, in this matchup zone defense. This 1-1-3 that rotates into a 2-3. Kind of a diversion from their amoeba from last year that they ran. Basically just a matchup zone.
Interesting, Wasserberger has been on the bench for a good 10 minutes.
And he gives this team some offensive threat from the outside. They're looking for Wasserberger right now from the baseline if they can. Look at the defense. They just will not let San Jose get the ball to Wasserberger in the baseline or even to the post players. Good look that time.
Shot clock down to 5, and Dunlap surprises just about everybody in the house. It's a 16-point Rebel lead. They get it inside. High percentage play for Spencer.
Just a great pass. Nice little skip bounce pass inside to Spencer, who is really coming into his own right now. Transferred in from Clark Community College, playing real well. Good left hand that time by Spencer. That's an example of where he's improving. They want him to be ready for the conference tournament at the end of the year and tournament time. That's the key right now, to get him enough experience, enough game situation, and feeling good about what he's doing out there to be solid come tournament time.
Wasserberger for 3. There's the outside that we were talking about.
That's a nice shot by Wasserberger. Another guy walked on, but can hit that 3. He loves to shoot. They say he has no fear in his wrist, and that man has no fear, period.
That'll quiet it down in a big hurry. Ogman now with 9. The leading scorer so far, though, Anderson Hunt has 13. Larry Johnson 8 for the Rebels of UNLV. Greg Anthony was 7. From 3, Wasserberger again. What a burger, that Wasserberger.
He's automatic, boy. He turns and fires it.
We've been down in Las Cruces too often, buddy.
Yeah, that's your hangout. Whataburger.
Ackles. Oh! Thunder and lightning.
Oh, that net is screaming on that one. Whew.
We have not had a close game this year with UNLV, but I'll tell you, they are a lot of fun to do.
And that's the reason why people sit in the stands and watch them the entire game, all 40 minutes. People at home watch games the entire length of time. It's one spectacular play after another. You never know what you're going to see.
Wasserberger, NBA rain, St. Julian. He'll go to the line, fouled by Everett Gray, the second on Gray. That'll be the 16th foul on UNLV.
Number 23, Everett Gray. Second personal.
So Everett Gray picking up his second. The young man from Flemington, California.
Did you hear that? Oh. And the crowd with that, boom, they're in awe. Seeing that play from George Ackles inside. You know, between Ackles and Spencer playing the center spot for this UNLV bunch. They average about 16 points a game together. That's great productivity when you can bring in two players who play consistently well together.
Maybe the best leaper for San Jose State is now 2 for 3 at the free throw line. Michael St. Julian, transfer from Lynn College in Brenham, Texas.
You know, earlier in the season, they had him playing out on the wings, and they thought maybe they could take advantage of his outside shooting ability. Then with all the injuries, they realized in that leaping ability that he needs to go inside. Even though he's 6'4", as we said, he's got that great leaping ability in there. They need him.
He's got that Larry Johnson pregnant pause when he takes the free throws.
You like that little, most people would think that that would disrupt your motion. In Larry Johnson's case, it doesn't. And even for St. Julian. Little press showing here. This is a 2-2-1 by San Jose State.
7 points for St. Julian to lead the Spartans, 6 apiece for Terrell and Wasserberger with those 2 3-pointers he had. Great inside look. Ackles. Could have called a foul on Dunlap if you wanted to, but you don't need to be cruel.
Yeah, you're right. No reason for that one.
Under a minute left in the first half. Very efficient, productive effort again by the #1 team of the nation. How they could not be voted the consensus #1 is beyond me. Ohio State, who got a couple of first-place votes, lost tonight on the road at Michigan State. Ogren blocking the shot, coming up with a rebound with help from Larry Johnson. Anderson Hunt with pressure. That was maybe one of the ugliest shots we've seen all year from UNLV.
And from Hunt in particular.
Cannon out of control. Never touched somebody before. Cannon gets after it, and did they ever get a break? It would have been a travel had Cannon reached for it, come up with the ball at halftime. Mario, you've got a great conversation coming up with Casey, who handles the baseball beat for the San Francisco Examiner.
Yeah,
Casey Teffertiller.
You'll also get a chance to talk to Stan Morrison as well, the head coach at San Jose State. Talk a little baseball, we'll talk basketball. Always a pleasure to talk with Stan Morrison. I mean, talk about an easy interview. One of the most respected coaches around and one of the most liked by everybody, players, coaches, and media.
One last try, if they get it up in time, and Hunt can't. That'll be the end of the first half, so the Spartans throw it away on a nice steal. Good anticipation of the passing lane by Stacey Ogman, and Darkanian's crew doing it once again, making it look easy as they're on top by 17 at the half.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
This is where the legend began, in places like Aspen, Sun Valley, and Taos. When people came for the snow and discovered the beer, brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water for a fresher, smoother, more naturally refreshing taste. Today, the beer people used to travel miles to find is available almost everywhere. But it's still got that great fresh from the Rockies taste. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines' full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass. And take anyone you want on your next trip, free, like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
I dream.
Antigua Bay.
Is it possible?
Anything is.
I want to.
Antigua Bay. Luxury apartment living.
It's halftime in San Jose, California. Welcome back once again. Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. Their average margin of victory this year, 31.6 points per game. Halfway home, the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, the nation's #1 team, on top by 17. And let's go to Mario now with a special halftime guest.
Thank you, Joel. Casey Tiefertiller has joined me here at halftime tonight, San Francisco Examiner beat writer for the Oakland A's, and he's here tonight watching basketball. You've had a chance in your career to follow championship teams in baseball. Tonight you get a chance to see the #1 team in the country. What about it?
Well, I think the A's and Rebels are a lot alike. The A's have more power, but only Canseco can shoot like the Rebels. I think if you look at the two, though, there's a great degree of poise, and as the Rebels walk out on the court, you can almost look at them and see the confidence they have and the belief that they have that they can win a game. And the A's are that way, too. They walk on the field at spring training with the absolute confidence that they're going to walk away and play baseball in October. And I think you can see that, and that's a characteristic of a team that wins and a team that goes on to championships.
You get a chance to follow the A's like you have. A lot of people, of course, wondered what exactly happened during the World Series. You're close to them. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a tough one. Strangely, the A's were different. All of a sudden, that character that had been there, that belief in themselves, no longer was there, and they got beat up a little bit early, and everything that's supposed to work for them and everything that has always worked for them didn't. The power was gone, the offense was gone, and suddenly it seemed like they got just a little flustered and fell back just a little, and they didn't execute the same way they had in the past.
In terms of off-season moves, they let Scott Sanderson win 17 games last year. They let him go to the Yankees. They signed Eric Shaw, a different personality on and off the field. What do you think kind of impact he'll have on that baseball team?
Hard to tell right now, but the thing is, whether or not Shaw becomes the fourth starter, the A's are loaded in pitching. They have Reggie Harris, Todd Burns, Kurt Young, and Shaw to contend for the 4 and 5 roles. Between those four guys, they will find two solid pitchers. I think Reggie Harris in 2, 3, 4 years is a guy that everybody will be looking at and saying, here's a 20-game winner. He'll be Roger Clemens redux. He'll be another guy who can be he's a power pitcher, and he has great ability. And the Red Sox let him go on a fluke. The A's picked him up, and if he's not a starter this year, he'll be a starter 2, 3, 4 years down the line. Whatever the A's do, whether Eric Shaw's their fourth starter or not, they have the best pitching in the American League.
You had the benefit as a writer to be able to follow a championship team for quite a while. Is it as big a thrill? I mean, you've got to be the envy of all the writers around the country following a team as dominant as the A's.
It's interesting. It's a lot easier to go back upstairs and write the stories every day than it would be covering the Twins or someone like that. But it's fun. It's fun.
In terms of domination, can the A's continue the way they have to dominate in baseball?
I think they can, and I think the key to it is not looking at the guys who are in the major leagues now, because the pitching staff, the guys are old, but you have to look at what they've done in the last couple of years with their pitching. With Todd Van Poppel, Kirk Dressendorfer, all the guys down the line that in the next few years, Reggie Harris, in the next few years, these will be the names that we're hearing instead of Stewart, Welch, Moore. And what they've come up with a whole plan for the future and a very good chance that this team will be the class of the American League for a long time to come. It's a remarkable organization, and they've done just about everything right.
You get a chance as a baseball writer to really get to know a lot of the players, and their likes and dislikes and all. A lot been written, a lot been said about Jose Canseco, the way he is on the floor and off the floor. What are your thoughts about him in the years you followed?
Well, I've never seen Jose on the floor. He's not much of a drinker. But on and off the field, I think he's really one of the most misunderstood people there is, because you can't really, one of the things that you have to learn when you're covering something, and you know, Mario, you can't be judgmental. You have to look at somebody and realize that they're different, and it's not a good or a bad. It's a matter that they're just different, and they have a whole different personality. And you look at him as a different sort of person and accept him as he is.
Okay. Appreciate the time. Thanks again.
My pleasure.
All righty. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more halftime activities, highlights, and stats right after this.
A hint of music, an open heart, the scent of mesquite. Unforgettable moments. It doesn't take a special occasion to make an occasion special. The Steakhouse, quietly nestled in the heart of Circus Circus.
Tough Shed says...
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
Tough Shed. Quality, fair prices, and they're tough.
Now that's a tough shed.
3000 South Highland Drive. Call 367-TOUGH. That's 367-TOUGH. Call today.
That should be perfect.
Good. Now this fan represents
The finest medical skill and experience. A higher technology. And a passion for personal caring is good healthcare. And healthcare this good is easy to find at Valley Hospital.
The page all Las Vegas hears. Page 900.
Very entertaining halftime shows. This young lady has done everything with about as many basketballs as she can handle. It has been a lot of fun at halftime for the fans because it hasn't been all that much fun over the first 20 minutes of play. The home team, the Spartans of San Jose State, trailing the Running Rebels of UNLV by 17 at the intermission, 51-34. Well, before the start of tonight's game, Mario had an opportunity to talk with the head coach of the Spartans, Stan Morrison, and especially about all the injuries they have incurred this year.
One of the most respected coaches that joined me here at halftime in the Big West and throughout the western part of the U.S. That's Stan Morrison. And I know you're a great coach, but I expected to see you here tonight walking out with a stethoscope on based upon all the injuries you've had to deal with. I thought maybe you might have changed professions to become a doctor.
Well, at one point I thought I might have to do that. It was we were holding a lot of hands, but slowly but surely they're starting to round that back. We'll probably have Troy Batiste back tonight, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks maybe one or two other players can rejoin us.
Now, how difficult is that for a coach to have to go back and realize that you've lost so many key players and then have to get so much out of your reserves, and in your case, a lot of players that are walk-ons?
Well, I think it's difficult for any coach, and especially, we lost our two leading scorers and for well over a month, and then we lost our leading rebounder very early in the season for the year. So how do you do that? Well, you have more than 5 guys in your squad, that's for sure, and everybody has to step forward. And I earned my keep, and so do the kids. It was really funny the other night. One of the players on a timeout said, "Coach, can I get a break for a minute or two?" And I said, "You got a full scholarship?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Play a full game." And I mean, that's kind of where we are at this stage of the game. But everyone is really pulled together, and going through a season like that, there are a lot of reasons to hang your head. They haven't done that.
Now tonight you get UNLV, the nation's #1 team, of course. Yet the Big West Conference, people may not realize it's a young man's chance to be able to play the #1 team in the country twice. Tonight you get him here at home. Your team's got to be excited with that opportunity.
They're very excited, and I just hope I can come up with something funny to relax them in the locker room, because you can get too excited and try too hard, particularly when you have a packed house and all your friends and your girlfriend and family here.
You've seen a lot of great teams in the years of coaching. This UNLV team, a lot of people say they might be the best they've ever seen. What do you think?
I think they rank up there with the best that I have seen. Their overall team quickness and their athleticism, and certainly their commitment to ball pressure and denial, that part of the game, that's the best I've ever seen. And so I would put them up there, but how do you weigh those things,
As you look at how to plan your strategy for tonight's game, I mean, it's so easy to sit there and say, well, we're going to deny him transition, we're going to deny him this and that. But I mean, seriously, how does a coach look at a situation like this and plan for it?
I think there are 3 or 4 key things. Number one, take good care of the basketball. That's easier said than done. That may be the toughest chore. Secondly, get back. Make them run offense to score. Don't let them get the cheap spread court baskets. And cheap in the sense, I mean easy. They certainly earn them with the rebound and the passing and the running. I think the third thing is when that ball is shot, hold them, if you can, to one shot. Rebound with everybody. I got my grandmother and my mother-in-law here. I go board when the ball goes up. And if you could do that, then you have a chance to do some things. And the whole idea is stay in the game as long as you can, maintain confidence, and all of a sudden you say, hey, we can play these guys. That's the toughest sales job I think every coach in the country has in playing a team like this.
Say, maintaining confidence. This man does it as well as anybody. Stan Morrison, the outstanding head coach here at San Jose State. Thanks very much for joining us. Always a pleasure. And even though you didn't bring a stethoscope, it was still good that you came.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back with halftime highlights and stats right after this.
When the only thing better than making it to the top is making it to the bottom.
It's the right feeling now.
Because you know looking good isn't just for summer.
It's the right feeling now.
Because you know winter's the time to turn up the heat. So call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's the right feeling now.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
The challenge, as I saw it, was to make it more like Bogey's place in the movie Casablanca. Not how it was in the 40s, but how it would be today, 50 years later. How would it feel? What kind of food would he serve? What kind of entertainment? How would he get that hip international flair going? I thought a lot about it, and I believe I created a joint that has the same mystique as Rick's Cafe.
Randy Kiefer's Play It Again, Sam. The next generation.
Somehow, I think Bogey would have loved it.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines' full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass. And take anyone you want on your next trip, free! Like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
Looking to improve the nation's longest winning streak to 28 straight, the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV leading by 17 over the Spartans of San Jose State at halftime. And welcome back once again to the campus of San Jose State University. Mario Palladini and Joel Myers courtside. And it's almost seemed too easy at times because of the high percentage shots that UNLV is getting inside. It'd be interesting if we could put it up graphically, a shot chart of all the inside position and possessions for UNLV.
It's almost like they're going through one of their practices. You know, let's concentrate this time on getting the ball at Johnson. They go into him. Let's work a high-low inside-outside with Ogman and Johnson. They're doing that. They have the superiority in athleticism inside and in height, and they're taking advantage of it. Why force a shot from the outside when you can get an easy two inside, maybe even go to the line with a foul? They're doing that. But the killer is they're also burying the shots from the outside. Hunt's the leading scorer in the half with 13. They're all from outside.
Anderson Hunt really has come through. He's been a little bit cold over the last 4 games from three-point range, but for the most part, they have been getting the ball down low.
Here's a case where they go to Ackles, and he loses the control of the ball, but offensive rebounding and position. That's what Larry Johnson does better than anybody around, is his inside position with that big, wide body of his. He's hard to move out. For San Jose, give him credit. They tried to work it inside. That's a great pass in there by Terrell, who penetrated with the head fake and finds St. Julian in there to bank it in and to score. Michael St. Julian, a real leaper in there. Right off the top, that's the most important stat of the half. 67% for UNLV, 41% for San Jose. That's been the difference so far. Free throws, well, they haven't shot a whole lot of free throws. Rebounds, not bad for San Jose. They're fairly close. Hunt with the 13, Ogman and Johnson, your two key guys there, 9 and 8 respectively. And Michael St. Julian, as we said, he's been tough on the inside despite the lack of height. It's 7. He leads in rebounding and in points.
So we have begun the second 20 minutes of play. San Jose State with the ball down by 17. Mario, you're Stan Morrison. How do you get your team back into the game after picking up a moving foul offensively to start off the second half?
I think you just answered it. That's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to give them any more turnovers. What you hope to do is to nip away a little bit, to come out, to be aggressive. Hope you can get a couple of turnovers yourself and a couple of three-point shots to get it to be a little bit closer.
Second foul on Michael St. Julian. Fresno State, a winner by 13 at home over UC Irvine, the Anteaters.
We get them on Saturday night. Fresno State's a tough team under Gary Paulson. They have been playing much better basketball this season, particularly at home at Selland Arena.
The miss by Hunt, the rebound for Wasserberger.
This is a key possession right now. This would be a good spot to try to get an inside shot at there. If not, work it around and look for a three.
Logan for St. Julian. How did he ever get it over Johnson? Well, that's how. Threw up an ugly one off the glass. It barely drew the rim. Last touch by Anderson Hunt. Good defense by Wasserberger just to get back there in the transition game.
And look at Tarkanian. He's upset. First couple of times on court, they've not played well. And look at Utah State at home. They come back to beat Fullerton State, who's really been struggling without Aaron Wilhite, their center.
Big bucket by Charles Terrell.
And a good decision to go to Terrell, who can hurt you from the outside that time. Now they got to see if San Jose can play some tough defense.
Johnson looking on Logan, forces his way and it doesn't get it to go.
Open man.
To put together a run. Wasserberger, can he control it? No. Well, they need to put together a little run. They've got the first 3 of that run, but they turn the ball over. That is the 10th turnover so far. And one other final Pacific.
Oh boy, that's
nudging Santa Barbara.
That's a big win for Pacific. Santa Barbara looking at that game as the biggest game of the year for them. They really put a lot of effort this week practicing into beating Pacific. But Pacific's tough home in the Spanish Center.
It is not often you see Greg Anthony go downstairs and post up against another guard, but he feels that confidence tonight against this squad. Cannon underneath with problems. St. Julian can't hang on. Another turnover. It was in and out of his hands. Johnson, Ackles, staying at home to make the play. Hunt had it partially deflected by Wasserberger. Johnson saves it. Wasserberger after it. And the Spartans get it. 2 minutes gone by in the second half. A 16-point lead still for the running Rebels.
You got to give San Jose credit. They're diving on the floor for loose balls. They're trying to do anything they can to scrap and fight and get back into this game. Obviously, they don't have the talent, but they need a three from somebody in a hurry.
Rejected inside by Augman.
I'll tell you, UNLV did such a great job inside and trying to pick up blocks without drawing a foul. Easily, they could have gotten a man to draw the foul, and Augman just patiently waited until Logan went up and made a clean block.
So they get a fresh 45 on the shot clock. Another possession of the offensive end.
UNLV showing zone as they do in out-of-bounds situations.
They need to get Cannon involved in the offense a little bit more. He's their leading scorer. He's not been much of a factor from the outside tonight, though. Terrell for Wasserberger. Good pick down the baseline by St. Julian. St. Julian made it possible with the pick on Wasserberger's man.
And that's the screen down low that UNLV took away from San Jose during that dry spell in the first half.
Wasserberger with 8, but back to Cannon. He's only got 3. Leads the team in scoring, averaging 12 a game. Johnson had it poked away by Wasserberger over to Cannon. Is this the run they're putting together? Cannon again, free for 15. He's got it from 15 feet away. And all of a sudden, the deficit is down to a dozen.
What a great read that time by Cannon. Smart, came down, under control, didn't force anything, left himself wide open, took the bait, took that free throw line jump shot.
Anthony with the pick from Ackles. Losing it. It's back to San Jose State. Oh, Jerry Tarkanian upset because now his team is losing their composure. They have been giving the ball away regularly.
Yeah, you know, Joel, the situation usually with UNLV is first 4 minutes of the second half is when they really start to put people away if they've struggled in the first half. Tonight, they played pretty well in the first half. Now they're struggling in the first few minutes.
Cannon for a 3. And an uncontested rebound for Augman. Well, UNLV has turned it over 3 times already in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. And led by 17 at the intermission. Right now, they're up by 12.
Coach Tarkanian there concerned. As we said, he's always worried. I mean, he has that worried look on his face when they're winning by 30 and 35. But now he's a little concerned because they've come out flat to start the second half. Let's see if Anthony takes over as the point guard. He's giving directions out there right now. See if they run a play inside for Johnson.
Little give and go for Anthony. Nice. Ackles blowing the slam dunk, but a foul is coming up on Terrell. That is Charles' first foul. The sophomore from San Leandro.
And this is what we talked about. They went to a set play with Johnson popping out at the top, rotating Anthony through, and what a pass by Anthony in the air to Ackles, who tried so hard to finish that off, but draws a foul from Terrell.
Ackles averages 8 a game. Has the first of 2 and a 13-point advantage for the Runnin' Rebs.
He's really improved from the early part of the season. He's felt that pressure, that competition when Elmore Spencer joined the team. He's had to play better. He wants to hang on to that starting role.
2 free throws perfect by Ackles. At a 14-point lead now for the #1 team of the nation.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. With 3 new menus, it's 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, now everything I like is just $59.79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme, $59.79.99. Run for the bullet of the Widow Spencer, $59.79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better, $59.79.99.
Family Fitness Centers, Las Vegas's #1 fitness centers, just got better. We're now open 24 hours a day, every day. Family Fitness Centers with more fitness equipment than any other club in Nevada. Life Cycle, Nautilus, Stairmaster, Eagle, the list goes on. And there's only 1 week left to start your special Family Fitness Centers program. 6 months for only $99. The largest fitness facility, the best fitness value. That's what makes us #1. Family Fitness Centers, East and West. Now open 24 hours a day, every day. Call or come in today.
Saturday night we'll be at Selland Arena in Fresno, California. Hopefully you'll be able to join us right here on Sports Channel. The Fresno State Bulldogs taking on Jerry Pimm's Gauchos from UC Santa Barbara. Should be a very, very close game, so join us Saturday night this second. It all starts at 7:30 out here on the West Coast. And a late start tonight for Stan Morrison and his Spartans, but it is their biggest crowd in their second season in this new event center.
He's going to the Tums. Did you see that? He popped that one in there. His stomach's got to be boiling a little bit.
What's up next? The bottle of Maalox courtside? Ball batted away as they wanted Terrell.
You know, Stan Morrison, people forget, was a great college basketball player. He was at Cal on Pete Newell's club when they won the NCAA championship in '59 as their center, and was an outstanding player at Cal for those 4 seasons.
Cannon needs to start finding it from 3. He has missed 3 3-pointers already in the second half. They've got to get him involved. He's only got 3 points thus far. Make it 5 for Terry Cannon. 15:38 left in the second half. A 14-point Rebel lead.
You mentioned Cannon. Right now, the man that's guarding Terry Cannon might be the best defensive player in college basketball on that inbounds play. That was Stacey Augman.
Punt.
Hey, that's a good play by Cannon.
Last touch by Cannon.
Smart body block by Cannon, and he got away with it.
But he also lost the ball in the process.
Tried to prevent Anderson Hunt from getting to the ball. Here it is. Shift the hips. There you go. Airborne. It gives him the ball out of bounds, but it keeps him from running a fast break, easy bucket.
Inside, outside, high and low. And Hunt can't convert on the 3-point try, but going over the back and taking it right away from Logan without making much contact with Logan was Larry Johnson.
And that's the hard thing to do. Go over the back of a player without picking up the foul, reaching over.
Larry Johnson way below his average now. For the last 10 games, he has averaged 25 at night. He's only got 10 with that last basket.
Look at UNLV really pulling that defense, that man-to-man way out now, putting a lot of pressure as they do on the ball. They're one of the best teams I've ever seen at putting pressure on the ball.
Cannon with the follow away. St. Julian can't get it. Wasserberger tries it. They really have had their problems. They only hit 41% from the field in the first half, while the Rebels were at a clip of 67%. And Logan, after the miss, picking up the foul. That'll be only the first team foul, though, on UNLV, and the first as well on Stacey Augman. It has been a very efficient, clean package put together tonight by UNLV. They have not used any extra effort in cruising out to their 16-point advantage. And they really haven't had to look to Larry Johnson all that often tonight. It's been distributed offensively. Logan going for Wasserberger. It was a nice try down to the baseline. Rebels touched it last. Augman thought Johnson would come up with it. Finally, Johnson raced after it. A breakdown of communication there that you rarely see at the defensive end from UNLV.
Good point. But give Wasserberger credit from San Jose that time. He missed the shot. A lot of players would turn, put their head down, run back down the floor. He was ready. He was aggressive. He forced that play.
Such great defensive work by UNLV. Great team defense, making it difficult for San Jose State to even inbound the ball.
You know, UNLV practices defense 2 hours a day, every day. Defense, defense. People always talk about all the numbers they put on it, but it's the defense of this basketball team. I think they're the best defensive team in the country. The way that they force you into making mistakes, into turnovers, and into their offense as a result of those turnovers.
There's the matchup zone swinging around as they reverse the ball. Get it inside to St. Julian. Nice penetration pass.
What a pass that time by Cannon. They've done a job on him outside in terms of shooting, but great penetration, and that's tough to do against a zone like that.
9 points now for Michael St. Julian. 13:35 left in the contest. A 14-point lead for the Rebels. They've got the ball. Inside they go to Johnson. And a foul, a shove from Logan. And now they're starting to look a little bit more often inside to Larry Johnson. First foul on Logan.
Before the shot, the position of Johnson is amazing what he can do. He's way down in the baseline at that point. With his body turned, already prepared with the position to go up strong. When he gets you defensively on his hip, forget it. He's going to go to the board. He's going to score it.
Foul called before Johnson in the act of shooting.
Watch Logan, 31 inside, trying to guard Johnson that time. He's trying to front him, play him on the side, anything he can.
Wasserberger leading the 3-on-1. But the Spartans give it up after the Rebels get back. Cannon doesn't get it to go. Almost a brilliant shot on his way down. The lob for Ackles, and he is fouled by Terrell on his way to the basket. That'll be the 4th team foul on San Jose State.
Terrell a little upset with himself because he kind of got caught indecisive as to what he wanted to do. Contest the shot. Should have let Ackles go that time.
Second foul on Charles Terrell.
UNLV just recognizes the opportunity on the break, and that's where Greg Anthony, their point guard, does such a great job. It's amazing to think and remember when he played it early in his career. He was a 2-guard at the University of Portland, a shooting guard. He's worked and worked and has become the best senior point guard in the country. Look at that pass inside of Johnson.
It'll count. It'll go. It'll be basket interference against San Jose State. And Larry Johnson, who was fouled on the play, will go to the line.
Well, Logan's had his hands full tonight. As we said, had a great game against him last year. And there's the bounce pass inside. As Logan goes up. Well, it seemed to reach the top of its zenith, as they say. Once it reaches its zenith, it very well should be a goaltending call. We had a little activity going on off the court here at this time. And Tark's still looking for the call there inside, looking for that goaltending call.
Well, the basket does count.
Here's Tim Gergich. What an outstanding assistant coach that Jerry Tarkanian has. Many years at Pittsburgh. Really one of the defensive catalysts as a coach of this basketball team. You'd think a guy like that would want to be able to move on and go to a head coaching position, and you got to wonder, what about Tarkanian? Some talk that maybe he might retire after this season. If this team can go to the tournament, if they can win it for the 2nd time in a row. Next year, a lot of these players are gone, a younger bunch. Would he step down? Consideration is being talked about, and if it did, Gergich would be a prime candidate to be able to get that head coaching job.
The Running Rebels of UNLV led it by 17 at halftime, and it looked like there was some momentum going in the direction of San Jose State, but all of a sudden again, it's a 17-point advantage as Augman just picked up his 2nd foul. On to the 2nd team foul on the Rebels. Common foul will be brought in by Charles Terrell.
Even getting the ball in bounds is tough against that defense.
Wasserberger for 3 over Spencer. I can't believe he got that one in.
The Was, as they call it. That's a tough shot, as you mentioned, Joel. Put a lot of arc on that one.
And San Jose State with their 8th 3-pointer of the contest to keep them in the game, down by 14.
Look at how UNLV works the ball around the perimeter, trying to find a spot inside if they can.
Well, look at St. Julian trying to front 7-foot Elmore Spencer. St. Julian at 6'4".
How's that for a challenge?
Ogden off balance, following his own.
And that's where he's so tough on the offensive boards. We talked about at the top of the show. He really goes hard to the offensive boards. One-on-one isolation play for Canada to try to free him up, and he throws it away.
Got caught in midair underneath the basket. Anderson Hunt on the dribble drive. It would have counted had it gone. Wasserberger with a foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Anderson Hunt. No indecision on the part of Anderson Hunt.
None. He is the first man out on the break, switches, crosses it over, goes to the opposite hand. That's a tough shot, penetrated inside. Hunt is so fast at getting up the court on the break. He's the first look on the outlet, runs that lane exceptionally well. And when he gets it, as you said, Joe, he likes to explode to the basket.
Anderson Hunt now 3 for 3 at the free throw line.
What a great tournament he had last year. He was the MVP in the NCAA tournament. He's always played well. And people remember, hit that big shot to beat Arizona 2 years ago, and then last season was so tough in tournament time.
And with those 2 free throws, the Running Rebels have matched their largest lead of the contest at 18.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines' full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass, and take anyone you want on your next trip free, like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
This is where the legend began, on rivers like the Gunnison and Colorado, when people came for the good times and discovered the beer, brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water for a fresher, smoother, more naturally refreshing taste. Today, the beer people used to travel miles to find is available almost everywhere, but it's still got that great fresh from the Rockies taste. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
11 minutes, 48 seconds left in the second half. Looking for their 28th straight win. The nation's #1 team, UNLV, leading by 18 with under 12 minutes left. Well, yesterday, the San Jose Jammers Continental Basketball Association team with Freddie Banks, former UNLV Running Rebel, playing Pensacola, who's got Mark Wade, another former Running Rebel, and courtside, Rick Barry, the nearest to us. Jerry West, the man in the middle, and his assistant, Mitch Kupchak with the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, Jerry West, the GM of the Lakers, one of the most honest individuals I have ever spoken with about assessing talent, college talent, NBA talent, whatever it might be. And here taking in the contest, Freddie Banks to your right with the glasses on.
What a great player Freddie Banks was. 3rd all-time leading scorer here at UNLV, better than 2,000 points in his career. Played some pro for a couple of years, CBA.
And the Lakers, there's so rumors they are trying to shore up things, need some help, possibly in the backcourt. St. Julian with a nice move on the baseline. Nice play out of the timeout to cut the deficit to 16. 11 1/4 left in the second half. Inside, outside. They do it so well.
Never.
For 3, Greg Anthony. Larry Johnson's there. Batted away by Logan, though. Terrell saves it.
That was a great effort by Logan. Let's see if San Jose can capitalize here this time and get a bucket.
Higginbotham almost lost it to Anthony.
And you can see Higginbotham's really feeling the defensive pressure. With Cannon out of there as your point guard, it makes it tough on Higginbotham to have to play that point role.
They've got the ball, and the Spartans are down by 16.
Look at the defensive pressure on Higginbotham.
Well, you don't want to give up the dribble in a sideline trap situation where all of a sudden the double team comes out.
Exactly, and they're just begging you to go baseline so they can trap you. And he throws it away.
Got to hang on to it before you head to the basket.
No, but even more so, that was not a good pass by Higginbotham. Much too much speed on it. Terrell saying it's my fault, but he rifled that thing.
And you better get back and forget about talking about the last play and look to your next defensive sequence. The Rebels will burn you every time. That was the 13th turnover committed by San Jose State. Ogden alter the shot with pressure defensively.
Go to the middle. Higginbotham's got to go to the middle instead of going to the baseline.
Looking for somebody to come to the ball, takes it upon himself, doesn't get it, and Logan, he's off on his drive. The lob for Spencer, why not? 6'4", Michael St. Julian. Got to exploit that a little bit more often.
Yeah, and they got St. Julian playing behind Spencer that time. Forget it. You can't have, you got to play him at least in front of him, or play him as hard as you can on the side to challenge that pass.
The last one for UNLV, it was 126-83 over Utah State. Will not reach 126 tonight. Wasserberger in trouble. The 5 count. He's going to watch it, and it's taken away. Ogman slapped it to Hunt. Up by 18. Look for more from Spencer, but Logan came over to help out. It's almost like a game of tetherball for him. He can hit the ball on his own, bang it off the glass, tip it up into the air. Okay, I'll take you 4 on. Larry Johnson with a basket. And a 20-point lead, the biggest of the night for UNLV. 15 for Johnson. 8 below his average.
And Joel, San Jose is really out of sync right now because of Cannon, the point guard, being out of it.
Wasserberger got Anthony into the air.
Another example, at least Wasserberger did a good job that time after he hung himself, giving up the dribble, and they're going to bring in Cannon right now because there's been nothing offensively.
Well, man, you like a lot. I know you talk with Wasserberger. We walk into the gymnasium tonight, and all of a sudden he's looking over here in your direction as Travis Bice comes in. All of a sudden, out of your mouth, "Hey, Was, what's cooking, babe?" He's not trying to get some pub, though, is he?
He's a good young man. He really is. Tough, hard-nosed kid. You know, he's really not a real quick guy, not a real talented player, just a hard worker. Comes out, and you know, he really does have a pretty solid three-pointer. The funny thing is, his assistant, or the associate head coach at San Jose, Stan Stewart, who was a great streak shooter of his own when he was at college at Loyola Marymount years ago, always ribbed Wasserberger about the fact that if Stan had played to the three-point line, would have been a much better player than Wasserberger ever dreamed of being.
19-point lead for the Rebels. Everett Gray and Bice on the floor now, along with Elmore Spencer. So only 2 starters in there for UNLV with a 19-point lead. Johnson on Brotherton. Talk about mismatches. They get help, though. Terrell trying to swat it away. Bice for 3.
I mean, does Greg Anthony have good court vision or what? Was able to find Bice way open, alone, baseline left side.
That's what you call reversing it in a very big hurry. It's up to 22 and counting. The streak, of course, is safe at 28. Tonight will be their 28th straight win. 21st straight on the road. Wasserberger for 3. And Gray with the rebound. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. So they will raise their record to 17-0.
There is again, same pass.
Bice is probably saying, boy, Greg, this is just like practice, isn't it?
That's the thing. When you play UNLV, it almost becomes like that.
Wasserberger throws it away. Pressure by Bice. They didn't get the call they wanted. When we come back, Dunlap entering the game, along with Troy Batiste for Stan Morrison, a dejected coach of the Spartans. Mario's dream is hopefully going to come true before the season is over. He wants to play the tuba in the San Jose State Pep Band. We have talked to Stan Morrison, also the band director. It may be accomplished before the end of the year. Can you handle it, though?
You got to be kidding me. This thing's bigger than I am. He loves these band players. He said, you know, if you're going to interview me, Mario, you got to get a shot of the band. One thing Stan Morrison has is great rapport with people and great rapport with students. There's a section of fans sitting back on the side over there behind the UNLV bench. Students from local fraternities here at San Jose. They call them Morrison's Monsters. They come out and they scream and they yell. That's the kind of rapport he has with the students.
Spencer Johnson in the Rebels by 24.
You know, Stan Morrison inherited a program here that was in total ruins. Player dissension, firing of the head coach, Bill Berry, just completely disassembled everything. As it turned out, he's had to start from scratch. He's had to start with walk-ons. They had an 8-20 season last year and is slowly building it through recruits. They spent a lot of time recruiting in Los Angeles. A lot of contacts there for both Morrison and his associate coach, Stan Stewart. They're going to go to the JC route, though, this season. They need some solid JC players to put some experience in here and to be competitive next season.
Sure hasn't hurt Jerry Tarkanian, the UNLV, the young man who just put it in, comes from Riverside Community College.
Good example.
Everett Gray.
Good example. Everett Gray, Bobby Joyce, both of these players from UNLV, from Riverside City College. And that's the thing. It's almost to the point today that if you need a quick fix, you go the JC route. Not just to win, because you need to win. Perhaps some coaches feel they need to do that for their own coaching job, maintaining it. But you get good, solid seasoned players at the JC level, more so today than in the past.
Ball over the head of Anthony on the break from Johnson. H. Waldman, the only freshman on the Vegas roster. It is H to get the period. We've talked about it before. He did not elect to be a junior, or at least his mother felt that way.
Oh, maybe he thought he was going to be a Hollywood star. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. So that H would really put him up in the lights as it being a unique, different name. But, hey, he's a heck of a point guard. They're really high on this young man.
Dunlap with a nice touch over Spencer. Will be a nice development for Stan Morrison.
Yeah, and as we said, he played well early in the year. Like I saw him against Santa Clara. He played very well against Big Ron Reese, the 7-footer from Santa Clara. But he's been struggling because of some weight problems recently. As we said, they're concerned he may have a little problem with an illness.
Spencer leans in, off the basket. It'll be an offensive charge on Elmore Spencer. It would have been points 9 and 10, his second foul instead. Dunlap with a solid position, and under 6 minutes remaining. As San Jose State gets it back. Spartans of San Jose State in last place of the Big West, 2-8 conference mark. Or check that, conference-wise, they're 3-6. 5-13 overall.
You know, the big win they had was against Long Beach State last Saturday night. I think they caught everybody by surprise on that one. Just played a great game. And look at Brotherton inside, bad feet and all.
Draws the foul on Larry Johnson.
The thing about that Long Beach State game was Stan Morrison said that was the best execution by a team that I've had here in my 2 years. And this is the kind of execution that they're looking for. Penetration inside if they can. Good job looking for Brotherton that time.
Second foul on Larry Johnson. Will he be the #1 pick in the draft? Well, if Shaquille O'Neal decides to come out, there's no doubt who will be the #1 pick in the lottery.
Yeah, the scouts will say that they like O'Neal because of, I mean, how many times you get a guy that size
who can bring it up the floor
with that much talent?
He's incredible.
But he is young. He's a young player.
I take my chances.
I think everybody would with a guy that size. But I'll tell you, I love Larry Johnson.
If you're going to make Chris Washburn the 3rd pick in the draft like the Warriors did a few years back, Johnson hammered by Brotherton.
Hey, was
Johnson
he ever?
Not exactly excited about the developments.
No, he's okay. They get a little upset, but he's all right. Larry's just not used to having guys hammer him like that. I mean, there aren't too many guys who have the will to go against Larry inside. And watch Brotherton. If he's going to foul him, I'm going to get you head and all. That's a tough foul in there.
Yeah, but it is fair play. I mean, if you're going to do it at the opposite end, you ought to expect it coming back. This is not a scene from the Untouchables. 5:28 left in the second half. Brotherton with the hefty foul.
Hey, Joel, you know the thing I like about that play by Brotherton? There's a guy who's only a freshman. and he's doing something like that. That shows the kind of aggressive play that he's capable of. That's why he was such a highly recruited player out of the state of Washington.
One thing that will hurt Brotherton, though, played in the small school, 2A in the state of Washington, so the competition wasn't what he's going to see over the next couple of seasons. Misses the first, misses the second.
Interesting, Larry lost his cool a little bit, and it affected him at the free throw line.
Well, coming into the game, he had hit 63 of his last 71 free throws.
Well, he's into it now. See that
Slings
rebound?
an elbow at the rebound. Inviting Gray to take the three-pointer.
Little zone this time by San Jose.
Gray will this time.
He can shoot it. 56% from the three-point line, Everett Gray.
And Gray with 11 off the bench. Batiste following his own. And Gray has the rebound.
Gray got away with a walk, too.
So the Rebels, with the reserves, with the exception of Larry Johnson on the floor, with under 5 minutes remaining.
I kind of wonder about that. Why would you have Larry Johnson in the game with 5 minutes remaining? With a big lead like you have, 26 points.
So he had his average yet? No, maybe that's a reason. He's only got 19.
Okay.
He averages 23 a game and 25 a game over the last 10. Batiste. Johnson.
Rebound. Comes down, mouth open, yelling and screaming. Kind of reminds you of Butler last year, the center. Every time he got a rebound, he'd scream as he came down. Moses Scurry used to do the same way.
Johnson fouled on his way with the rebound. Well, it's like the NBA. Some coaches in the NBA will teach you to grunt, to groan, regardless of whether you're a hit or not. When you come down with a rebound, give a little, oh, like somebody gave you a shot.
Yeah. Look at Larry going up here. Swings it, brings it down. Yeah, it gives it the old groan right there.
Wasserberger coming onto the floor, wholesale substitutions.
At the free throw line for the Rebels.
Wholesale substitutions for San Jose State. Melvin Love ready to come in for UNLV. He'll be coming in for Larry Johnson. Double doubles, and you see trouble.
You know, he really epitomizes the work ethic of this basketball team, the team unity they have. They're on a mission. They want to repeat national champions 2 years in a row. Great team chemistry. And he, I think, was the key member that brought that chemistry together last season for the championship run. There was some thought when he first came in that, well, somebody was going to have to sit, either Scurry or Butler, and yet he just wanted to blend in, be a part of the team, and that attitude transcended amongst all the rest of the players. It brought them together.
They were favored by 31. They are up by 28. The Runnin' Rebs of UNLV.
There's a new kind of cowboy out there, and that's why McDonald's is grilling up a whole new kind of steak. A steak sandwich served with all the fixings. And right now, it's a great McDonald's value you can't pass up. McDonald's new grilled steak sandwich. A new kind of steak for a new kind of cowboy.
The delicious new grilled steak sandwich is only $2.29 plus tax for a limited time only at participating Las Vegas area McDonald's. It's new and it's available now at McDonald's. Prices may vary.
If you enjoy a quiet afternoon get-together,
It's the right beer now.
if you're concerned about not just what goes on your body, but what goes in it,
It's the right beer now.
because when you're in a place that's really happening, anything can happen. So call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Yeah, it's the right beer now.
You gotta love those Pilots. Portland on the road, Santa Clara at home. It's the Broncos and the Pilots following tonight's game, so don't go anywhere if you're on the West Coast. More college basketball coming up on Sports Channel. What a tilt that should be. Higginbotham on the floor for San Jose State. H. Waldman almost coming up with the steal. A lot of soccer players with only one name. Tattoo and so many others. H does have a last name. Gray for the H factor. And Melvin Love gets his first two.
And the H factor made a great pass inside.
win by an average of 31.6. They can't get to .6 tonight, I'm pretty certain. Wasserberger.
The Wasps without any fear.
It's down to 27. Wasserberger with 15. 3 minutes left. Everett Gray.
What a penetration. There he is on the offensive board.
Melvin Love. And the block and the foul on Logan.
Well, Melvin Love's taking advantage of this playing time to better his game, but one of the areas he's trying to improve on is his post moves inside. Made an interesting move here after Gray going up strong. Right here, he'll get the ball and head fakes, but puts it on the floor. Didn't need to. When you put that ball on the floor, the little guards can come by, strip it away. He's got to learn to go up strong. At 6'10", 250, he should have no problem going up against bigger guys, or smaller guys, rather.
Melvin Love.
Gotta love that name.
Number of variations I guess you could work with. Running Rebels, 9-0. With the win. Melvin missing both free throw attempts. My favorite Melvin was a member of the Temptations, though. UNLV, with the win, will raise your record to 17-0. Will not play on Saturday night because they did play on Monday night in the demolition of Utah State. They had a rule where you could possibly end the game early. That would have applied to the Rebels' win over Utah State. You had to feel for Con Smith and his group.
Well, Con Smith knew he was going to be tough.
Asked for a 30-run rule.
Thing about Con Smith, knowing that he doesn't have the post players inside to compete and being on the road and coming home to Logan after UNLV's already been in there for a day, waiting for you on your own home floor. Perhaps why they started out down 16-0 at the very start.
Nice pass by Terrell. Logan has to finish that play after the good penetration by Terrell. Everett Gray fouled by Wasserberger. Wonder how he fits that name on the forms. He has played a very effective game from the outside, though. Even though he sat out a good 10 minutes of the first half. He leads all Spartans with 15. Fresno State with an easy victory over UC Irvine. They led it by as many as 20 in the second half, topping the Anteaters by 13. That second score, you had to be an Evelyn Wood speed reader to get it. There we go, Utah State by 11. Thanks, guys. Good help in the truck. Cal State Fullerton and John Snead's group had a very, very marginal non-conference schedule, to put it mildly.
Well, you're putting it mildly. The thing about John Snead's team was that they played so well and they utilized the players that they had. Will Hyde inside and Joe Small.
Yeah, but if you're playing the Herbert Hoover's Boys Club, I mean, how much can you derive from the strength of the competition you're facing?
The key thing there is that they got on a roll, they won some games, then they had the key injuries, and they couldn't keep it together. They struggled in the conference from that point on. But they're still a team to be reckoned with, because with Joe Small out there, any night would be tough. They got to get Will Hyde back to be able to play competitive inside.
That's with Spencer, who got a block on it on the shot attempt. Bice from 3 points, line of the NBA team, or the CBA team actually here, the Jammers of San Jose. You got to love it. And a foul underneath.
You know, I look at Bice. He turns and fires it up from anywhere now. First year.
Old-fashioned looking shot, isn't it?
It's the old
push.
Looks like a two-hand set shot. But when he first came here, he was very timid. Didn't look for the shot very often. Interesting thing about him is how they found him. UNLV was trying to recruit Don McLean. Of course, went on to have a great career at UCLA. Tarkanian saw Bice, liked the way he shot the ball from the outside. No other team was recruiting Bice. They offered him a scholarship, and everybody said, what are you recruiting a guy who's that thin, who doesn't show a lot of confidence? Tarkanian, the kind of coach that he is, saw something in Bice. He knew that he could work him into being a confident, solid outside threat, and he's become it.
Foul coming up on St. Julian. You know, you look at Travis Bison. He really is a long, skinny one. He almost makes Gumby look like he's got muscle definition. St. Julian picking up his second foul, minute 22 left.
You know, I'll tell you, Bice is a tough kid, too. He was involved in a car accident when he was a young man in high school. And had a very, very bad shoulder injury. Took a lot of stitches. We were very concerned about it, but he's really fought his way back. And as I said, he plays with a great deal of confidence out there. They're going to need him a lot towards tournament time and next season.
That is not the strength of the UNLV team. Depth at the guard position. We've talked about it before. If Anthony or Hunt get in foul trouble, Bice and H. Waldman have to come through in a big way. 28-point lead.
When you think about a guy like Bice, wasn't recruited, gets a chance to be recruited by one team only. It's the national champion team. That's why when the scouts come to watch a certain player, a teammate of yours who might be a great player, you want to play as consistently and as hard as you can, because you never know. They might spot a real diamond in the rough.
Down for Everett Gray. Thank you. Let him play. Ball lost to the baseline. Michael St. Julian coming away. Hannon on the break.
Nice.
And the foul.
Great effort by Hannon that time.
That'll look a little bit better in the box score in the morning.
Yeah. But he knew what to do with it. Good pass. Went up hard, split the defense inside, and continued to go up strong with his head in the air. A lot of players get in there, they duck their head. Watch his head. Stays up, strong, looking at the bucket, allowed him to bank it in. Good play.
Sporting the smallest knee brace we've ever seen. In the Big West Conference, Hannon with a three-point play. Bice on the break, gets away from Hannon. H. Waldman fouled by St. Julian. Now you want to get out of here without any injuries.
Good point. Well, you got the two enforcers in there. Heads above everybody else. That's Love and Spencer. They're going to keep pace in a hurry.
A scene from the A team.
Bice going in strong. Gets Hannon up in the air trying to draw
And
the
the foul made. Foul is called on number
Excuse me on that one.
St. Julian.
And he's grabbing onto his uniform, and Hannon throws it away. Good aggressive plays. Guys are playing hard.
At the free throw line for the Rebels, number 31, H. Waldman, shooting two.
Waldman, the only freshman on this team. There have been three great point guards that have come out of the Las Vegas area the last few years. One was Greg Anthony, who went to the University of Portland, eventually came back to UNLV, and luckily for them. The other was Matt Othick, who, in the very last minute, went to Arizona in a very controversial move to Arizona. But this time, Tarkanian got the point guard he wanted out of Las Vegas, and H. Waldman is their point guard of the future.
Spencer finally comes up with it. They lob it for Love.
You know, Joe, you got to look at the schedule that UNLV plays. People are saying, well, gee, they're just breezing through the schedule. There's one game that sits up there that really looks like a real challenge for them. They have to go to Arkansas to play the Razorbacks, Nolan Richardson's team down there. That's going to be tough on the road. That'll be a real good test to see how they look against the big teams.
And I was talking to Larry Moose Stubing, one of the three referees from the Big West working tonight's game. It's going to be three officials, neutral officials. The three will be in the Big Conference for that game. For the matchup between the Big West, UNLV, and the Southwest Conference, the University of Arkansas, Nolan Richardson squad. So it is over in San Jose. Rebel fans may have said that before it ever started. A 24-point win for the nation's #1 team.
For a limited time only, when you come to a participating Chili's and buy any meal, you receive a Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, which lets you bring someone along free when flying on one of Southwest Airlines' full-fare round-trip tickets. What a deal! Just come into Chili's, enjoy a great meal, and get a Partner Pass. And take anyone you want on your next trip, free! Like your mom or your sister.
Southwest Airlines Partner Pass, only at Chili's.
Or your boss. You could take your boss.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. With 3 new menus, it's 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, now everything I like is just $59, $79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme, $59, $79.99. Run for the bullet of the winter fencer. $59, $79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59, $79.99.
World-class quality, best-in-class value from Las Vegas's #1 Ford dealer,
Surprise! Quality doesn't cost more this year. With the all-new 91 Ford Escort, you get style, fuel efficiency, and a long list of new standard features. Choose from the sporty GT, the roomy LX, or this economical pony starting at just $149 per month for only 24 months. We've got nearly 100 all-new Escorts, the world's best-selling car, in stock right now. So get them while they're hot at Godden Ford and Import Center, 2121 East Sahara.
LePage, all Las Vegas hears. Page 900.
Another day at the office for the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, a 24-point win over the Spartans of San Jose State. And welcome back to the Event Center on the campus of San Jose State University. Another mundane, basic one for the Runnin' Rebels. It almost appears that way, the way they're so efficient and so concise in what they do, especially at the offensive end. It seems like everything is so automatic. They know what they want to do, especially the high-low against the smaller teams.
They really take advantage of what the opponents pose as an alternative. I mean, obviously there was no size inside. Hey, they go right inside. The only point that made it interesting was early in the second half when they struggled. They didn't come out sharp. San Jose tried to take advantage of it, but even they turned the ball over and a chance to get right back into it.
Almost hard to believe, hitting 67% of their shots in the first 20 minutes of play. They only led by 17. And talking about the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, they did get the ball inside frequently. Didn't look quite as much to Larry Johnson early in the contest. Started to go a little bit more in the second half. That could pay dividends, though, down the road. So they're not too predictable on the offensive end.
That's a good point. They are not a predictable basketball team, and they can do so much because they'll concentrate inside first, looking for Augment and Johnson inside and Ackles. But if it's not there, they can put the outside shot down. That's a question mark that a lot of coaches thought that existed with this UNLV team. Can they shoot the ball consistently from the outside? So far this season, they're proving that they can.
Well, a little bit earlier we were talking about as we basically always have to fill a little bit in the second half of these UNLV games. Maybe the last 10 minutes of the first half, too. But we were talking about Shaquille O'Neal, who everybody is drooling over right now. Let's not forget about Elmore Spencer, a 7-footer, only the second 7-footer to play at UNLV for Jerry Tarkanian. He is only in his first year, coming from the junior college system. He's a junior now. He is starting to show signs at the offensive end, confidence-wise, that he could turn into a real factor later this year and down the road next year, to the point where all of a sudden he could be a lottery pick.
He could, with that great size that he has and the ability to develop. That's going to be a real key. But the point I think about Spencer is just in the games you and I have done, we've seen marked improvement in how he's performed. So that with that kind of improvement in the post-up moves that he has, he's going to be tough.
Just a shame that our viewers can't put up with what we have to put up with in our ears. We will wrap it up now from the Event Center on the campus of San Jose State University. Another easy win for the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, 88-64. And don't forget, coming up next, right here on Sports Channel, it's West Coast Conference basketball. The Pilots of Portland. I know you are ready for their matchup with the Broncos of Santa Clara. Most of you hanging on the edge of your chair waiting for that big one. That is on the West Coast only, following our activity from San Jose. Well, a beautiful night in San Jose, but only for UNLV and the Runnin' Rebels as they raise their record to 17-0. And now in Big West Conference play, they're at 9-0. Their only test in conference play, of course, that's going to come from New Mexico State. They're co-conference champions that they had to share the title with last year. So it'll be interesting when they finally get together. And, of course, the game at Las Vegas, you'll be able to see right here on the 16th of this month. And it is the 31st of January, so I might as well say the 16th of February. It is going to be right here on Sports Channel from the Thomas and Mack Center. Thank you for joining us once again. For our producer, Michael Ireland, and our director, Mark Goldsmith, and the great shots they provided from the truck tonight. I'm Joel Myers, along with Mario Palladini. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon. Actually, we'll see you on Saturday night for the next matchup. Big West basketball on Sports Channel. It'll be Fresno State at Selland, taking on the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara. That'll do it from San Jose. Have a good night, everybody.